something that is a little tough for me to talk about, but I need something more. This is what I was born to do. Doesn't make you a bad mom. She's singing the song of my people. Hey guys, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask Angie. I love that you guys love this series as much as I do. Yeah, I really do. I really like that you like it as much as I do. I love talking to you guys about things, and I feel like when we're doing family vlogs and stuff, I just don't get as much of an opportunity to like actually, you know, convey my heart to you and talk to you about issues or things. It just doesn't happen as much in like a busy family vlog. This week, we are talking about something that is a little tough for me to talk about, but I think it's really important. In my last video, I kind of casually mentioned that part of the reason I've always kind of had some kind of a side hustle was because I was not someone who had kids and felt like being a stay-at-home mom was what fulfilled me. And that can be really hard to say out loud. A lot of times it comes with a lot of judgment from people. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about a little bit of my story of finding fulfillment and how maybe you can apply that to your life if you are in the same place right now and sitting there feeling like, yes, I love my children, I love my spouse, I love my life, but I just don't feel entirely whole. There's still something missing. So, and then of course, as always, we're going to talk favorite Instagram, books, and other YouTube channels. I'm going to share all that stuff with you guys as well. So grab your coffee or drink of choice. Matcha. Are you a matcha drinker? I don't know anything about matcha, but I want to drink it because I like saying matcha. I drink matcha. Whatever it is, you're going to toss down your gullet while we talk. Just grab it. There is this thing when you especially, and I'm going to speak, I can only speak from my personal experience and I can only speak from what I know. I have always been someone that wanted so badly to make everybody happy and to keep the status quo, because I thought if everybody was happy and I was doing what everyone else wanted me to do, then I would be happy too. Not the case. And you quickly start to figure that out, I think, especially the older you get, that like, is it really worth it if everyone else around me is happy but I'm not? It's not sustainable. It's not a long-term way to live. So for me, I've talked about this before, in high school and all growing up, I thought like I wanted to be an attorney in the Navy, like a JAG Corps attorney. I wanted to maybe fly fighter planes. I just had all of these very like career-driven goals. And not that I didn't see myself being a mother, because I did. I absolutely did. But for some reason in my mind, I guess I never really thought that I would have to choose. And so when it came time, when Christopher and I got married, and then when I found out I was pregnant with Kennedy, while Christopher finished college, I did not have a college degree. I dropped out of nursing school to go to Oregon to be with him, to live with him. We got married, and so that he could finish school and I would work. Well, I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to take like a quick sojourn down this little story path here really quickly. I interviewed with a temp agency for a temp job answering phones at an engineering company. They said, yeah, sure, great, you've got the job, you can go be a temp there. So I was a temp there for like 2 weeks. During that time, the temp agency said, we kind of like you, would you like to come work for us and be, you know, one of our employees that helps people find temporary work? And I was like, well, that might be like a fun job, maybe I'll go do that. And then at the same time, I was working as a temp for this engineering firm. And as I was there answering phones and just kind of doing like front desk stuff, the owner of the company and some of the other higher up employees were kind of like, hey, this chick she can do a lot more than just answer phones. And so they kind of started like asking me, would you be interested in maybe doing some other administrative work, that kind of thing. Long story short, after my 2 weeks was up with the temp job, I basically had a job offer from both places. I decided to stay with the engineering firm and to go into an administrative role. I was in that role for maybe 6 months when the manager of the marketing department said, hey, I still think you can do more here. Would you like to come work for me and manage proposal writing for our engineers? And I was like, I have no experience with that, but sure, like I can figure that out. And so I got hired at 21 years old with no college education. I was a proposal manager for an engineering firm. We were writing proposals for huge jobs in Oregon, huge jobs. And I helped write those proposals. So I loved my job. So when I got pregnant with Kennedy, and was very, very sick and had to leave that job because I was so sick, and we had decided to move back to this coast. I was very like career driven at that point. I could see a far career for me in marketing, and then that kind of happened, and I was pregnant. And like I said in my previous video, if you haven't watched, Ciara and I had always known that when we had children, it was important for us, for one of us to be home with them and raising them, and be the primary caregivers for them. Like, I knew that that was a priority for us. So when Ciara graduated college, he was going to be the one to work and I was going to be the one to raise the kids. And I think she was maybe like 4 weeks old when I realized this. I literally, and I'm not knocking, please understand, I'm a mother of 7. I get it. I'm not knocking how much work it is to be a mom, but I remember sitting there thinking like, is this it? Like, this is all I'm gonna do now for the rest of my life, is just do this. I'm just gonna change diapers. And it just had this hole, like this feeling of like, but I need something more. And not just because financially we needed me to do something. Absolutely, we needed me to do something. But my brain, it needed me to do something. And there was that voice that was saying like, Angie, you're not feeling like fully fulfilled in this role. And some people have children and they're just like, this is what I was born to do. And they absolutely love it and they just slide right into it and embrace it with open arms. That wasn't me. And I felt a lot of guilt about that. So when she was about a month old, I started like, okay, well, how can I open my own in-home daycare? And that's what I started researching, figuring out, and that's what I ended up doing, was running an in-home daycare. For a few years, I kept other people's children when my kids were little. And that basically started my journey to finding other ways, other outlets for figuring out, kind of how I was going to find that fulfillment for myself. Again, maybe you're listening to this and you're thinking like, yes, I feel the same way. It was a journey. It was not a like, oh, I'm gonna figure this out and here we go. No, I did a lot of things that didn't work out, that weren't fulfilling to me, that were just time wasting, like selling things like Avon. That was just a time waste for me. There was no passion in that for me. It was just a way to make some money. But there's other people who sell, who do like direct sell things, and it is their passion. It is what they absolutely love. It is what they just like live for. So I'm not saying that that can't be what is your kind of side thing that helps you. But I think it's important to recognize that finding, like, as a woman, that if you find yourself in the position that being home with your kids is not where you are finding complete fulfillment, that's okay. It's totally okay. And it doesn't make you a bad mom. Rewind and listen to that part again if you need to. It doesn't make you a bad mom. I love my children like nothing on earth. I love my children so fiercely. I have fought for my children from day one. Every single one of them I fought to bring into my family. No one will ever convince me that because I need something more for complete fulfillment in here and in here, that somehow makes me not a good mom or a bad mom. 10 years ago, Angie, oh, you could have convinced me that in a heartbeat and the guilt would have eaten me alive. 33-year-old Angie knows better, knows myself, and knows who I am and what I believe and how fiercely I love my children. Therefore, I can fully step in and be really honest about my need for things outside of my home in order to feel fulfilled. And I've said this before, I'll say it again, it takes all kinds, and I just think we need to do a whole lot more of worrying about ourselves and a whole lot less worrying about other people and what they're doing. That's my soapbox about that. Sister, if that is you, if you are listening to this and you are feeling like, yes, I feel the same way, then I just want to encourage you today to do the soul searching you need, to start reaching out, to go to your spouse and say, I need more. I need more. I know in a recent video I talked about this, and I had a lot of women in the comments say they wouldn't even know where to begin because their whole life is just about their kids and their spouse, and they wouldn't even know where to begin to find things that interest them. And that definitely makes me sad to hear. But I will say, if you follow me on Instagram, I talked a little while ago about kind of finding your purpose and how, if you've heard Glennon Doyle Melton, she said that in order to find your purpose, what you need to do is think about what it is in the world that breaks your heart. That is your passion. What it is in this world that breaks your heart, that is your passion. Then you need to find the people that are working to fix that. Those are your people. So you kind of are marrying your passion with your people, and you're finding your purpose. And for me, that has absolutely been, and what breaks my heart in this world is vulnerable children. Children who can do nothing to change their circumstance and can only rely on the adults around them to buck up and do something to help them. That is what breaks my heart in this world, is atrocities and things towards children. I can't even fathom it. For me, using my platform, using this space that I have been given to speak to people, to talk about adoption, to talk about family, to talk about the importance of family and and to talk to mothers, to talk about feeling like if you can find your fulfillment, you can find what makes you happy, it's only going to make you a better mom. It's only going to make you a better wife. Those are the things that get me fired up. Those are the things I'm really passionate about. And so I'm using those things through this platform as, my purpose, and I love it. So I just want to encourage you with that today if you are struggling in that area at all. And I do want to say, let me say this, one of my very best friends in the entire world, her passion and her purpose is to be an amazing wife and mother. She finds full and complete fulfillment in her role as a wife and mother. She is an amazing wife and mother. And I don't look at her and think, well, you should be doing something else. Not at all. I can see it in her eyes how happy and passionate and fulfilled she is about that role. That's what I care about. I don't care about what the action is, that's kind of like whether or not it's being a stay-at-home mom, a working mom, a work-from-home mom, whatever it is. I don't care about the action. I care about, is this what's filling you up? Is this what's making you feel like a whole, full person so that you could just overflow and pour out on those around you? That's what matters. Okay, I know we got a little heavy with this one today. And not that it's, I don't want it to seem heavy. I want it to seem encouraging and exciting. I want you to feel like, yes, let me go and figure out what that is for me, or yes, this is it for me. And that's confirmation. This is my passion. This is my purpose. I'm so happy here. I'm telling you, ladies, if we ladies could all just live fully into our passions and our purposes here on this earth, we'd just run this place. We would just run this planet. We cannot be stopped. Let's chat about my book pick for this week. I almost feel like I can't pick this book this week because I have one chapter left in it. Don't even ask me how I haven't finished it, because I have just been consuming it. It's hands down the best book I have read up to this point. I feel like it should be mandatory reading for every single person. I came home yesterday and was like, Christopher, you have got to read this book after I am done. I'm actually listening to it on Audible, and so when I'm done listening to it, I'm actually going to buy a copy of it because I want to reread it with my eyeballs and a highlighter. I'm going to need lots of Post-its and highlights so that I can come back and reference things because it's that amazing. The book we are talking about, which if you've ever read it, you probably in your head are going, I know what book she's talking about. It's called Braving the Wilderness by Brené Brown. First of all, Brené Brown is my spirit animal. I didn't know this. This is the first book of hers I've ever read. She is my spirit animal. When she talks about this place that she sits in between, feeling like she doesn't fit in some places because her faith excludes her from some things, her use of curse words excludes her from other faith-based things, she's singing the song of my people. She's singing the song of my people. I say all the time, I don't feel like I am the Christian woman's Christian, especially Christian women's ministry type things. I don't feel like I fit. I love Jesus, but I cuss a little and I get fired up about things, and I just sometimes feel like I'm too much. But this book, you guys, it's changing my perspective on all of these things, but it's about finding true belonging and what that really means. I cannot even tell you how amazing this book is and transformative this book is for how you view yourself, how you think about yourself, but more importantly, how you view other people who think differently from you, how you have conversations with those people, and how we can move forward for reconciliation between all walks of life and all groups of people when we don't agree, how we can get to a place. It's so good. So if you've never read Brené Brown's Braving the Wilderness, please read it. Buy it on Audible. I will leave a link down below, if you want to get it on Amazon or whatever. So good. Okay, my Instagram account pick of the week, and someone suggested this, so I'm going to put some kind of screenshots here to show you, is her name is Kelly Jensen. Guys, she's one of those that I watch. She is so passionate about being a mama and the way that she mothers her children and the way that she talks about her children, and she's just so incredibly encouraging for moms. So encouraging. Not to mention, I mean, she's adorable. She is adorable. The stuff she wears and everything, I think if I left my house looking like that, I would just look like a crazy person. People would be like, what is that lady? And she looks so cute. Like, she's just one of those people who could wear anything and it would be adorable. And she just is so, it's not just encouraging, but it's very practical. Like, at one point, her and her husband went on a trip away together, and they talked about a game they like to play where they ask all these questions, and she put screenshots in her Instagram stories of like all these questions. And I have saved those for when Christopher and I ever get to do anything by ourselves, so we can ask each other those questions, and it's like get to know your spouse better and stuff like that. So it's very practical. It's not just like pretty pictures. She has a lot of good things to share with you too that are good like takeaways. So yeah, I will leave her handle for you guys to go check her out, but I definitely think there's so much good stuff on her Instagram page, so much valuable, tangible stuff. So definitely check out Kelly Jensen. And let's lighten things up a bit. I'm actually not going to share a YouTube channel this week. I'm going to share a show with you guys. Now, if you've been following me for some time, you know I actually don't watch a ton of TV. I watch very little television, especially if it's like anything new that's out that everybody's watching. You can rest assured I know nothing about it. The only shows I ever watch are like old reruns of Friends, The Office, Parks and Rec, Frasier. Those are the 4 shows I watch. So there you go. What I want to share with you is a TV show that I found on Netflix that I watched crazy until it was all done. And that is Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld. I, again, don't know if I've ever told you guys this before, but CR and I absolutely love stand-up comedy. We love stand-up comedy. This show, it just gets me right in the feelers. I love it. It's hilarious. Kevin Hart's episode was hysterical. There's just, I mean, so many good ones. 1 or 2 of the episodes was kind of like awkward. The comedian, you could tell, was one of those people that like you put them on a stage and they're really funny, but outside of that, they're awkward, weird people. So there's a couple that I was like, this is like painful to watch, but most of them, 99% of them, so funny, so good. All right, so those are my things to share with you this week. Thank you once again for joining me for another episode of Ask Angie. Be sure to leave in the comments below if you have an idea for an episode, something you want me to talk about in the future. Let me know down in the comments. I'm, again, so glad that you guys like the idea of doing these. I like these. I definitely know there's some of you who do not care for sit-down videos. You are only here for the vlogs. But the cool thing is, it literally says on the video, Ask Angie, chatty. You could just bypass it. You can just bypass it. Like, you don't even have to come here and say, you talk too much. Why do you talk so much? I don't want to listen to you talk. Then just don't click on the video. If it says chatty, that could be a cue to you that I'm gonna talk a lot. I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of the videos this week. Did you see our article in People Magazine? Did you hear about that in the previous vlog, how we were in People Magazine? Very exciting. It was really random and fun, but exciting. So anyways, that's it. That's all I've got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you are not already. Leave me ideas for next week's episode, and I will see you guys again really soon. Bye!